Will Jon Snow, everyone's favorite sad boy, claim a dragon in the books? And if so, will it be Rhaegal, one of Daenerys' dragons? Or will it be an ice dragon? Because, northern aesthetic. Maybe, maybe, probably not. So I think that there's a pretty decent chance that Jon at some point will claim a dragon because yes, I do think that we are going to get confirmation of the Lyanna and Rhaegar parentage for Jon Snow. I am so sorry to all of the Ashara Dane fans out there. All the dozen of you, you're cool, but sorry. And if that were to happen, I do think that there is a better chance that it would be one of Daenerys' dragons, in this case, probably Rhaegal, because, ooh, in the words of George Lucas, it rhymes. Father Rhaegar, Dragon Rhaegal, yes, ooh. And as for the Ice Dragon, I do think that that is the less likely of the theories. In fact, I think it is almost zilch, and allow me to explain why. So there isn't a ton of information about ice dragons within the world of Ice and Fire, and that is because they are kind of legendary status. People have heard of them, people have, legends about them existing in the parts of the world in which they exist, but, hard evidence or even, living people who have claimed to see them aren't a thing. From what we know about ice dragons, they are rumored to live in the Shivering Sea, which is the sea that's north of Essos and to the east of Westeros. And some sailors say that they see them, but if you kill one, they melt, so you never get any bones or anything. And beyond their legendary status, I don't think that necessarily means that we will never see one at all. I do think that the TV show turning Viserion into a weird zombie dragon is their attempt at kind of probably consolidating some plot lines. So I do think we'll see an ice dragon in the books, and it might even be under the control of the others. But I think there's a crucial issue with the idea of an ice dragon being Jon Snow's dragon, and that is the existence of the dragon bond between humans, in this case, some Valyrians or Targaryens being of Valyrian descent, and dragons. That wouldn't exist with an ice dragon. And it's that dragon bond that is what allows this connection to happen. It's what allows a human to bond with a dragon, and then a dragon to allow them to, ride them. From what we know about the Valyrian dragons is they were all subjected to this blood bond, probably through some combination of blood and fire magic, and that is what allowed the 40 dragon riding families of old Valyria to control them and ride them, etc. And so an ice dragon is not a participant in this, fire and blood magic. They're their own beings, their own species. So even if they are, related to the original dragons, if you want to say, because again, we don't really know the origins of dragons, so it could very well be that there were many kinds of dragons in the world, and then the Valyrians or another group kind of subjugated a type of them, in this case, the fire dragons, therefore leaving the ice dragons alone. That's a possibility, but again, if they did that, then it is the fire dragons that have the potential to bond with humans. So beyond the fun aesthetics of it, I don't think it works with the in-universe logic for Jon to ride an ice dragon, unless we want to go full wackadoodle and say Jon is gonna come back to life as the new Night's King. Then I think that there's more of a chance. But in the case of he's just he comes back as mostly just Jon, I think he has a far better chance of bonding with the type of dragon that humans are able to bond with. Now, as for the idea of Jon actually bonding specifically with Rhaegal, I do think that there is a genuinely decent chance of this happening. I am not certain. Again, we can't be certain of anything because we're all just speculating here. But I will say that there is one line that keeps getting repeated over and over again, which people use as justification for the idea that Jon will take this dragon as his mount, and that is the line, "The dragon has 3 heads." So this line has made a very big impression in the fandom because it has led everyone to believe and to start speculating about who the riders of Daenerys' other 2 dragons will be. Because if we take that line literally, the dragon has 3 heads, we can assume that it means that there are going to be multiple riders. There are 3 dragons, therefore you need 3 riders for those dragons. Okay, literally was a poor choice of words there, but if you take take the words at kind of like the base assumption of what they imply, that's kind of what you get. And specifically, it's also what Daenerys gets out of it. When she hears this for the first time and is in the House of the Undying, and she's having like all these crazy visions, and she sees a vision of Rhaegar right after he and Elia Martell have had their child Aegon, and Rhaegar looks at the child, says, you know, ooh, this is the prince who was promised. He's not, because, you know, he probably died. But then after he says that, Rhaegar says the line, there must be another, a third, because the dragon has 3 heads. Now, what we can take from that is that Rhaegar has just had his second child and assumes that he needs a third to like finish this recreation of the original conquerors, Aegon, Visenya, and Rhaenys. And so he's already had his Rhaenys and his Aegon, and he thinks he needs a third because the dragon has 3 heads. Again, we're all just speaking in prophecy here, and this is kind of the issue with all the people who speak in prophecy, is they hear these lines, they interpret them, and they assume that their interpretation is correct, and like, who the hell knows if that's the case? But Rhaegar assumes it means he needs another child, and then Daenerys, hearing it, realizes that like, oh, well, Rhaegar was obviously wrong, because, you know, he nor his children made it, but she hears the dragon must have 3 heads, and she takes it as the dragons each need to have a rider. So she starts to wonder for the preceding books, like, okay, who are 2 guys that I can trust to like recreate the conquerors in kind of reverse? So the conquerors, you know, were Aegon and his 2 sisters. So now she thinks that you know, she is in like the conqueror position, and then who are going to be the guys that are going to ride the other dragons with her. Specifically, she's thinking, like, who can I trust with my literal children here? Because that's how Daenerys thinks of her dragons. And so a lot of the speculation has led to, you know, Jon being an obvious choice. Jon having the potential familial connection, meaning that he has, if you believe that it is tied to some sort of heritage or blood, he has that connection that would make him a good candidate for this. And then there is, as I made my George Lucas joke earlier, there is the idea that like, oh, the dragon named after his father being the dragon that he ends up taking, there is a lovely poetry to that. Now, I've stated multiple times so far that I think that this is a maybe rather than a for sure, because of the nature of prophecy in this story. Remember that people are always trying to interpret prophecy, and that's kind of the issue, is because you're probably not going to interpret it correctly. So the fact that the initial interpretation of this line, the dragon has 3 heads, being that like, oh, well, we need a rider for each of the dragons, makes me suspicious of that interpretation. And it might be that like none of these dragons will get another rider, and that those words have a completely different connotation in general. It could be just signifying that like, oh, we need 3 dragons to come back into the world. And it could be as simple as that. My point is that there are a million interpretations that you could apply to that line that are each distinct and that don't necessarily require these dragons to have a rider in general or specific riders. So like, again, I don't, this is why I struggle with like theorizing myself, because there's a million things that can go wrong. You know, it's the butterfly effect. I can make up a theory, but if the butterfly gets trampled, it, you know, spider webs into 1,000 other possibilities. But you tell me in the comments, do you think that Jon will be Rhaegal's rider? Do you think Rhaegal will even have a rider? Or are you still firmly in the Ice Dragon camp? Sorry, like, logic be damned. He's gonna get that damn ice dragon. Oh, and then before someone mentions that, I know there's the theory about the dragon egg under Winterfell, and to that I say I don't. I think it is a throwaway line, and I don't think that anything like legitimate is going to come out of it. But that's just my opinion. Don't eat me alive in the comments. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. You guys are awesome. Please let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about in the comments. Remember, I save these comments, and that's how I come up with videos. So I hope you all have a great night, and yeah, goodbye.